Happy Sunday, kids! I hope you guys are having a great Sunday morning. It was so much fun to have Niani with us last Sunday. And now I'm just back to myself. It's just me by myself, guys. Anyways, so I thought of something really cool we can do. I kind of like when fall comes around because we get to dress up and get free candy. So I was thinking we should do a virtual Zoom costume party. So kids, I'm giving you all month to pick your costume and come to this party. Woo! I'm a Christmas tree, can you guys tell? Oh, when's the party? Right. It will be Thursday, October 29th at 4 p.m. I'll give you guys all the Zoom details. But until then, make sure you mark your calendars and invite your friends to the Zoom costume party. Okay, back to business. Guess what, kids? The Israelites are free. So we saw the story unfold in part 3 of Moses. Now we take a look into what happens after escaping from Egypt. Check out the story.
Stories of the Bible. Moses in the wilderness. This is Moses, who was an Israelite born in Egypt, in a time when Israelite boys were not supposed to live.
Wait, huh?
Moses, however, grew up in the palace of the Pharaoh, the very man who was enslaving the Israelite people. When Moses grew up, he made a big mistake and fled Egypt to live with the Midianites. But God called Moses back to Egypt to deliver his people with the help of his brother Aaron. After God showed his miraculous power in Egypt, he led the Israelites through the Red Sea and towards the Promised Land. They followed God, who showed himself as a cloud by day and fire by night. As God led them through the wilderness, the Israelites became thirsty and hungry. They complained to Moses and Aaron and said, "If only we had died in Egypt." God said to Moses that he would provide for his people.
Hey!
Each morning they awoke and found manna for the day.
What's that?
And each night God gave them meat. The people were still thirsty, and they were mad at Moses, saying, "Did you bring us out here to die of thirst?"
Yeah.
So Moses cried out to God, and God told Moses to strike a rock, and water came flowing out of it for the people to drink. And so the Lord provided for his people's needs. After traveling in the desert for 3 months, they came to Mount Sinai, and God called Moses from the top of the mountain. God spoke to Moses there of the future of his people and reminded him of the miracles of the past. After 3 days, there was thunder and lightning as a thick cloud covered the mountain. The people heard a loud trumpet blast. And Moses led people to the foot of the mountain to meet with God. God told them how his people were to live and how they were to honor him and respect each other. The Israelites had seen for themselves that God had spoken to Moses from heaven. These rules that God told them are called the 10 Commandments. And the Israelites feared God, for his mighty power had brought them out of slavery and provided for them in the desert.
Have you guys ever been on a long road trip, like 12 hours or something? And don't you get tired, hungry, and grumpy? And you're like, when will we get there? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet now? Did we go in circles? Are we there yet? Did we go back home? Are we there yet? But seriously, imagine the Israelites tired, hungry, grumpy, and thirsty, and they're not even in a car. They're walking. It must have been a crazy journey for them. So far, we've seen God's protection, God's persistence, God's power, and now we see how God provides for the Israelites in the wilderness. God provides in 3 ways: guidance, food and water, and instructions. Now, I could imagine them asking the same questions to Moses. Are we there yet? Where are we going? Why are we going through the desert? But Moses, as their leader, had to trust that God's plan was still happening. So God provided them the way through the wilderness. A cloud by day and fire by night. I mean, that's a pretty cool GPS. And you don't even need the internet. A long journey calls for some snacks, right? I mean, that's the best part of a journey, the snacks. But there isn't much snacks in the desert, right? Here is where God provides a second time: food and water. Manna comes down from the sky and quails. Now, it may not seem tasty, but it definitely helped the Israelites survive. And then what about the rest of the journey? What is the purpose of this whole trip anyway? Well, God cared a lot for the people of Israel and wanted to show them how much he loved them. So, God wanted to provide special instructions called the 10 Commandments to help the Israelites. No matter where we are in life, God would never just help us one day and then just leave us out to dry in the next. He always finishes what he starts. He will provide you with every resource you need to help you get to the next part of his great plan. And that is why God is so amazing and so awesome. Kids, if you're feeling a bit stuck today, and maybe you feel like the Israelites, you're wondering where God is, or you don't know where this journey is taking you, I challenge you to ask God and pray and watch God provide for everything you need. So kids, stay tuned next week as we wrap up our series with Moses. And I hope you kids have a great rest of your Sunday. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.